Ever since being discovered, the world has been fascinated with the giant shark Megalodon. It would have been an apex predator during its time, feasting on prehistoric seals, turtles and whales. We know this because researchers have found tooth markings on whale bones. The Megalodon also holds the title as being the largest shark to have ever swum in our oceans. What happened to this shark is up for debate. Some researchers have suggested that whales and other large prey moved to colder, deeper waters, which eventually led to their downfall, while some blame geological changes. Unfortunately for the Megalodon, evolution does not promote monoculture, and the only way to guarantee the safety of a species and its chances at survival is to promote genetic variation and adaptations throughout a species. Given the lack of genetic variation of the species, this could very well mean that disease or rapid changes in the environment were the main cause of extinction. Similarly seen in the case of the gross Michel banana species, that was completely eradicated by a single fungal plague. When a species contains little to no variation in its genetics, it becomes incredibly susceptible to specific diseases and the damage that they cause on their species. Megalodon's reign ended, and scientists have said we've found no proof of this shark existing into the modern day, but this hasn't stopped people from allegedly seeing the creature in our oceans. Megalodon sightings are brushed aside by scientists, but there are some out there who think that this giant shark may have moved into deeper waters, or somehow found another way to survive into the modern day. One of the most recent photographs to do the rounds on social media is this one. The photographs are from Google Earth, and the individual who took the screenshots claims that it could be Megalodon. The photograph in question was captured just off the coast of Peru, and interestingly the poster said that it shares many characteristics with the prehistoric Megalodon. The man made a post saying that it can be seen close to shore, noting that researchers said that the Megalodon would hunt close to the shore during prehistoric times, and also took out the measuring tool to show that it measured in at 20.5 meters long, which oddly enough is pretty much bang on what Megalodon would have been. 20.5 meters long is 67 feet, and just recently Victor Perez from the Florida Museum of Natural History and lead author of a new study proved that Megalodon's estimates were wrong, and that this shark wasn't 50 to 60 feet long, but rather 60 to 70 feet long, proving that we had the maths wrong. The team behind the study were able to use 3D printed replica teeth from the Megalodon, which were able to grow up to 7 inches long, and said that they were able to come to this new conclusion. He said the following about the old estimates. I was going around checking saying, did you use the wrong equation? Did you forget to convert your units? But it very quickly became clear that it was not the students that had made the error. It was simply that the equations were not as accurate as we had predicted. Victor Perez and his team is talking about an equation that was put out in 2002, where scientists said that the Megalodon measured in at 50 to 60 feet. He continued with the following. I think a lot of people had seen that study and blindly accepted the equations. Perez is now assistant curator of paleontology at the Calvert Marine Museum in Maryland, and says that Megalodon's size of 65 feet upwards is much more realistic. Some people are quick to share their opinions on the photograph, with one person saying the following. I'm not sure that you can claim that this thing is Megalodon, although I do find it strange how this thing's length is pretty much the same as an adult Megalodon. I'm sure that it's a coincidence, but it could be something like a whale. Well, this person said this. Who are we to say that a descendant of the Megalodon doesn't exist somewhere in our oceans? Every year we discover thousands of new species, many of which belong in the ocean. Over 90% of our oceans remain unexplored, and it was only recently that scientists discovered a new shark species. So for all we know, there could be a large shark species at the bottom of the ocean that we have no idea about. End quote. It's not just satellites that are encountering alleged giant sharks. Fishermen and those who spend a large amount of time on the oceans have come forward with their stories, with some of them detailing that they've seen sharks measuring over 40 feet in length, with many of these stories coming from Mexico and Australia. Those who have encountered these creatures are torn about what they're seeing, with some saying that what they might be seeing is a large great white shark, while others theorize that they may be an entirely new species. Back in 1918, a researcher by the name of David Steed, an Australian expert in natural history, wrote about the strange events of when a number of fishermen located to the area of the sighting claimed to quit their jobs, and even refused to go back out into the open ocean after witnessing a sighting of a shark so massive that it had eaten their entire loaded net in one bite. This giant shark also destroyed all of their gear and nearly sunk their entire boat. The reports came from lifelong fishermen veterans, and not from amateurs unaware of the ocean life around them, being more than familiar with whales and already known species of sharks to prevent them from being frightened. Despite this experience, they still claim that the shark they'd witnessed was far larger than any shark they'd ever witnessed. According to the gathered information from the researcher, the shark in question was believed to have been bigger than a whale shark, and pure white in colour. So what do you make of this photograph? And do you think there's a large undiscovered shark species swimming around in our oceans? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.